Welcome to the economics class. Today we are going to see what is frequency diagram. So before that we know what is presentation of data. There are three forms of presentation of data. For the first one is textual presentation, second is tabular presentation, and third one is diagrammatic presentation. We already covered all these topics, and in diagrammatic presentation again we can see three forms. The first one is geometric, and second one is frequency diagram, and third one is arithmetic line. So here what is frequency diagram? What is frequency first of all? Frequency means how frequent a data item is there in this series, that is frequency. Okay, now three important forms of frequency diagrams are. Three forms are there for frequency diagram. The first one is histogram. Histogram, very important topic. And the second one is polygon, that also is very important topic. And third one is also important, that is ogive. These are very simple topics, at the same time it's very important forms. The first topic is histogram. Histogram. What is histogram? Some points we have to keep in mind about histogram, because of these objective questions we have to keep all these small points. You can expect questions from this area also. So the first point that we always have to keep in mind is histogram is a graphical presentation of a frequency distribution. It's a graphical presentation. Okay, graphical presentation, that is the first point. The second point is when you are drawing a histogram, you have to allocate the frequency in the y-axis. That is the other important point. Always keep in mind that the frequency you have to mark in the y-axis. Don't when one table is given, there is chances are there to be confused with where we have to mark the frequency and where we have to mark the class intervals. Sometimes the class intervals it's okay, sometimes midpoint we have to mark. So from the table sometimes the chances are there to be confused with that. So always keep in mind that the frequency we have to mark in the y-axis. And the third important point is if the table is given in inclusive series, that is the class intervals are in inclusive series, then we have to convert that into exclusive series. That is very important, exclusive series. I am not explaining this again because it is there in the organization of data, that chapter you have completed that. So you know what is inclusive series and exclusive series. So why we are changing this to exclusive series is here in the histogram there is no gap between two bars. That is a histogram. So here in this case, that is why we are changing the inclusive series data into exclusive series. Okay, and the fourth point is the histogram, that diagrams are always two-dimensional. What is two-dimensional? We know bar diagrams are one-dimensional. One-dimensional means it's considered only about the length. We have to consider only length. But the histogram, this is two-dimensional. That is, we have to consider the length and width of the each bars. This is length and this is width. Okay, so both we have to consider. That is why it is saying histogram is two-dimensional. Okay, so hope this portion is clear. Now, histogram of frequency distribution are of two types. Okay, what are these two types that we can study now? These two types are equal class interval of histogram and histogram of unequal class interval. First one, histogram of equal class interval, and second one is histogram of unequal class interval. First we can see with an example of equal class interval. Okay, histogram of equal class interval. Here one example is given. This is marks and this is number of students. And number of students we are always taking as frequency. Don't be confused with that. Number of students always taking as frequency. Okay, now how we can mark this marks and number of students? Okay, this is y-axis. We know this is y-axis and this is x-axis, and 0, and the marks, the total, the highest mark here is 70. So here we have to mark till 70 we have to mark. So I am marking like this: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And here y-axis frequency, the highest number of student is 20. So we have to get 20. Till 20 we have to mark, 5, 10, 15, 20. Till 25 I am just marking. Okay, the first one is first class interval is 0 to 10. In 0 to 10 is number of students is 5, that is frequency. So here, till here we have to mark the first one, and the second 10 to 20, then 10. Frequency is 10. It should be straight line, okay? And 20 to 30, corresponding to that 15. So we have to mark till 15 here. This point, from this point we have to mark. I will draw it. See, I marked all the points. The last one is 4, 60 to 70, that is the frequency is 4 here. Okay, so from here I have to take 4 from here, and this is 4.4. Okay, now after that I have to mark. You have to mark all points here, 15, 20. Next is 12, then 8, then 4. Okay, this is histogram with equal class interval. Now next is a histogram with unequal class interval. The other example is given here. This is marks and this is number of students, that is frequency. And if it is unequal class interval, we have to do two steps we have to do here. First of all, first you just write the difference here, that is marks, its class interval is different. So first we have to write the class interval, the difference, 15, 20 minus 15 is 5, again here the difference is 5, here also 5, here is 10, here is 20, here is 20, and just mark. Again we can write marks here, otherwise what will happen, if you are writing this after number of students, what will happen, that when you are writing, while you are drawing the graph, the chances are there to be confused about the frequency and this difference. Okay, so just mark this here only, the left side of this marks, you just mark there. Now the first column that we have to find out here is adjustment factor. Adjustment factor we have to find. I will tell you the equation how to find out the adjustment factor. Adjustment factor equation is like this: class interval divided by lowest class interval. Okay, now how we can find out the class interval? What is the class interval for the first case? The first case class interval is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, because the lowest class interval we have to take. Here the lowest class interval is also 5, 5, 5, 5, 10, 20, 20. Here which one is the lowest one? 5 is the lowest one. Okay, so here we have to write 5 divided by 5 equal to 1. And if you are taking the four cases class interval, the difference is 5, so we will get 1 for all the 4 cases. And for the fourth case, how much would be the adjustment factor? Here the lowest class interval is 5 only, but here class interval is 10, so 10 divided by 5 equal to 2. And in the next case, 20 divided by 4, that is 4. Next case also 20 divided by 5 is equal to, that is equal to 4. Okay, that is the first column. The second column that we have to find out is frequency density. Frequency density, that also we have to find out. And here how we can find out the frequency density? Frequency density, the formula is frequency divided by adjustment factor. Adjustment factor we already found out. Adjustment factor. So both these equations keep in mind always, then you can easily do this unequal class interval. Okay, so if frequency density, we got the equation, then what is the answer? Here adjustment factor already we found out. So frequency, what is the frequency in first case? That is 7. 7 divided by 1 is equal to 7. And in next case, 10 divided by 1, 10, say 27 divided by 1, 27, 15. In this case, divide by 1, 15. 12 divided by 2, that is 6. 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3, and 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. We have to write that there. Okay, now we can see how we can draw this unequal class interval. Okay, with this same example, I will show you how to draw this. Okay, here this is the same one. This is our graph, y-axis and x-axis. The same way as we draw this histogram with equal class interval, we had to draw here here this is frequency, and here we have to mark till 80. We have to mark here. We can see the maximum class interval. The highest point is 80. So 80 till 80 we have to mark 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. In this way we have to mark till 80. The other important thing that we have to always keep in mind is here in y-axis we have to mark the frequency density only, not here the normal frequency. Because of this unequal class interval, we are taking this frequency density. So till 27 we have to get in frequency. So the class interval we are taking as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Till 30 I am marking, and the first one 10 to 15. So from here, from 10 we have to mark. Here is 10, here in the x-axis this is 10. So from 10 to 15, the first point we have to mark. Till 7 I have to mark. The first one I will show you. 10 till 10. The straight should be straight line. Okay, 10. And the next one is till 10. Frequency density in 15 to 20 corresponding to that is 10. So I am taking 10. In this way we have to mark all the points. I will show you. Here see, you can see till 25 to 30 I marked here. You have to mark all the points here also, the length. The first case that is 7, then 10, and in the third class interval that is 27, and the fourth class interval corresponding to that is 15. And in the next case you just listen here, in till 25 to 30 that was the class interval was 5, and here that is 10. So we have to take from 30 to 40. Here the width is different, not 5 units. Okay, 10 units we have to take, and the corresponding frequency is 6. Okay, so here from 30 to 40 we have to mark till 40, and in the next case 40 to 60, that is 20 is the class interval difference. So we have to mark till 3. The class interval is 60, so we have to mark like this. And again in the next case again, that is class interval is 20, so 60 to 80 corresponding to that we are marking 2. So till 80 we have to mark. Okay, see here 6, here 3, 2. This is the way how we can draw the histogram with unequal class interval. Next topic is frequency polygon. Frequency polygon we can draw with histograms or without histograms. Okay, the first case polygon with histogram. So here we are taking the same example as we took in the histogram with the equal class interval. Okay, so this in the same diagram itself we can draw the histogram, the polygon with the histogram. Okay, this was the diagram, and here how what we have to do is, we have to first of all we have to find out all the midpoints of this bars. Okay, these are the midpoints of all bars. Okay, it's very easy method, and after that we have to join all the 2 points from 5 to 10 and 10 to 15 and from 15 to 20 and from 20 to 12, like this. We have to draw all the points as straight line. Don't draw as freehand. You have to draw this with a scale only. Okay, the first then we have to draw like this. It should be a straight line. Don't be, I will let me draw this with a scale. Okay, see here I joined all the points with a One is scale, and the other point that is very important is the total area under a histogram should be equal to total area under a polygon. So here what we have to do here, this point has no end, the end is at this point only, so we have to extend this point to here. Why we are extending is because while joining the midpoints, you can see some areas would be excluded, but some other points, some areas get included. You can see here, this area got excluded and this area got included. Okay, and here you can see one area got, one extra point got excluded from here. So to compensate that, we have to extend this point to include the other area. Then only the total area under histogram would be equal to total area under a polygon. So I'm just extending this point to here. Okay, and from here also I'm just extending that line to here. Okay, this is frequency polygon with a histogram. Now the next case is polygon without a histogram. See here, in the same example itself, we can draw this polygon without a histogram. What is the first class interval? That is 0 to 10. And here the frequency is number of students, that is frequency. So the first point is from 5 I have to mark. So the before that, the first thing that you have to do here is first we have to find out the midpoint, mid value. Please write this mid value in the left side of marks, otherwise you would be confused with frequency and this midpoint or this mid value. Okay, here this mid value is 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. According to that, I marked all points here in the x-axis and the y-axis. So here in the first case, the midpoint is a 5, mid value is 5. So corresponding to that, what is the frequency here? Frequency is 10. So we have to mark it there. Sorry, here the first frequency is 5. So corresponding to 5, we have to mark 5. And the other thing, if you are got confused with how we can find out this mid value, just do the formula, the lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. That is the formula to find out the mid value. Okay, then the next point is 15. 15 is the mid value, and corresponding to that we have to mark 10, and then again 25. Corresponding to 25 we have to mark 15, and corresponding to 35 we have to mark 20, and corresponding to 45 we have to mark 12. Here you will get 12. 20, 45 corresponding to that I am marking 12, and corresponding to 55 we have to mark 8. See, and corresponding to 65 we have to mark 4. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is all the points that we are drawing should be straight line. Don't write it as if your freehand. Okay, it should be straight line. In polygon, always you have to draw the lines as straight. That is from here to here. From this point to this point, that should be a straight line. You have to draw this with a scale only. Okay, that is same in free polygon with a histogram and polygon without a histogram. Here the only difference is we are not drawing one histogram. Without a histogram, first we have to find out the mid value, then we are marking the corresponding to that mid value we are marking the frequency and joining all the points with a scale. Okay, as in the first case, see, I completed this with a scale, and as in the first case we have to extend this line to here, and here also we have to extend like this. Okay, so this is polygon without a histogram. Now next topic is frequency curve. That is very simple topic. As in the first case itself, the only difference here is in histogram, the same diagram we are using, same example, and here what we are doing is first we have to, as in the polygon, we have to find out first all the midpoints of this histogram, and here I am marking all the points, and after that you have to draw, you have to join all the points with as freehand. That is the only difference. Okay, other one we have to draw with scale only, that should be straight line, and here this is free hand smooth curve. That point also always keep in mind, smooth frequency curve. Okay, this is smooth frequency curve. That also is very important for objective type questions. Okay, so this is the frequency curve. Okay, now the next point I am direct going to next topic, that is ogive. Ogive is a very simple topic. Okay, now one example is given here, and first of all, this ogive also we can construct it in two ways. The first one is less than method, and second one is more than method. It's a very simple topic. The only thing that we have to be careful here, we have to construct the table according to this. Okay, the first one is less than method, so we have to construct the table according to less than method and more than method. I will show you how to construct this here, and here again we have to mark. Here in the first column I am marking these marks. Less than method first we are doing. Less than, when you are doing less than method, what we have to do is less than and the upper limit you have to take. Okay, less than 5, less than 10, less than 15. In less than case you have to take the upper limit. Okay, in all the cases we are marking upper limit, so I am writing here as less than 5, and the same way less than 10, less than 15, all the upper limit, less than 20, less than 25, less than 30. Okay, hope it's clear for you, don't be confused with this. Less than 40, and here what we are doing is, this is cumulative frequency column in less than method. Okay, here it is less than method. This is less than method. Cumulative frequency, how we can find out the cumulative frequency here? The first of all, the first frequency is 4. So less than 5 is 4. No confusion is there. And the next case, less than 10. Less than 10, which all points will come? 6 plus 4, that is 10. And in the next case, 10 plus 10, that is 20. And less than 20, again this 20 plus 10, that is 40. In this way we have to complete this column. Now you can see I have completed this column, and the next method is more than method. In more than method, what we are doing is, we are taking the lower limit. So that points only you have to keep in mind always. Less than method, less than 5, less than 10, that we are taking, that is upper limit. And here again I am marking marks. More than method, what we are doing? More than 0. More than 0, then cumulative frequency what we'll get? More than 0 means all the points we have to add. All the frequencies we have to add, that is 100. We got 100. So here we have to write 100. Okay, first I will finish this. More than 5, more than 0. Here it is not 5, this is 0. So here next is more than 10, more than 15, more than 20, more than 25, more than 30, more than 35, and last point also we are taking more than 40. Also here the first cumulative frequency is 100, and after that 100 minus 4. Here number of students, first case, more than 5. More than 5 is 100 minus 4, that is 96. And again 96 minus 6, that is 90. In this way we will get the points like this. 80 corresponding to 15, it's 80, and then 70, then 45 you will get, then 23, then 5, then 0. Okay, now we have to draw this curves. First we can see how we can draw this ogive curve with less than method. Okay, so here I am again, I marked all the points here, the marks less than method. This is the less than method cumulative frequency. The same one I wrote here. So here in the corresponding to this, This is not a straight line as the polygon. This also freehand you can draw. And in the first case, less than 5. So corresponding to 5, which one we have to mark? 4. So I am just marking this. And corresponding to 10, yeah, 10 I have to mark. And corresponding to 15, you will get 20. And corresponding to 20, how much is 30? Corresponding to 20, 30. And corresponding to 25, where is 25? Corresponding to 55. 55 I have to mark here. 55. Then corresponding to 30, I am marking 77. Where is 77? Yeah, if here you will get 77. Corresponding to 30. And corresponding to 35, it's 95. So I am marking that here. And corresponding to 40, that is 100. So with a free hand from 0, this is origin. From here I am marking. The first you have to mark y-axis and x-axis. That is very important. Okay. So free hand, joining all the plots like this, points like this. Okay. This is less than method. Is it clear? So the next one, the same way we have to do with more than method. Which one is okay, this is more than method. Okay, here also we have to plot all the marks. In 0, we have to mark corresponding to that 100. And again at point 5, this 5 I am taking and marking 96. Okay, then again corresponding to 10 I am marking 90. And corresponding to 15, we have to mark 80, and then 70 corresponding to 20. I'm marking 70. 70 and next is 45. That's corresponding to 25. I'm marking 45 here and corresponding to 30, 23. 23. Here it is 23 and corresponding to 40 it is 0. This one also we can draw as freehand. Don't use scale for this. It's not a straight line. This one also I am drawing like this. Okay. And the next case is we are drawing both the curves in the same graph. I will show you both more than and less than method in the same graph. The only point that here you have to be careful that the intersection point of both the ogives, that the less than method and more than method, and from the intersection point you will get a point. That point is a mode. That's very important. You can expect objective question from this part. Okay, this is all about ogive. Hope this also is very clear. Thank you.